Catching up with Tanya
and Rhonda.
Life, laughs, real talk, two friends sharing
Stories, hotcakes, everyday moments you can't help but relate to.
Grab a seat. We're catching up.
All right, girl. Time for us to catch up.
I know, right?
It's been a minute.
It has. So how are things going?
No juice coming out. All right. So I'm eating this, but there's two things that are on my mind right now. I slept too late today, so I couldn't take some of my supplements, my mini supplements that I take every day. And age will do it.
Right. You just keep on living.
And I'm eating this thinking, wow, I'm gonna have to get in the gym and work a little bit harder with some of these calories I'm putting on right now. So yeah, that's one thing I'm thinking. The other thing is, I drank some tea or something. Mm-hmm. You know when you drink something or eat something too hot in the roof of your mouth, like you get a little bit of a burn, whatever. I mean, I am feeling it, and this had to have been 2 days ago, but I think it's from my tea. Mm-hmm. So these crispy chips, I just put them on the other side of the mouth. Eat that way.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry that you woke up a little late and you didn't get all your supplements.
I know.
But definitely understanding that is, we're getting older, and I remember going to GNC, right before trying to get a complete women's vitamin for 50 plus, and I'm like, why do you have so many different things? Just give me a vitamin that meets my needs.
Whatever those are.
We're working. Don't give me 2,900 choices. Just give me one. But then we finally got down to it, and it was like you could take one to balance your hormones, one for I said, sir, I didn't want to take 20.
Let me show you. Let me show you. I bought this. The little medicine deal, and it had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You see all that's faded off. I bought it for a trip. I don't know, this was a couple of years ago. And I take so many supplements that I couldn't even fit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in here. So now what I do is on trips, I put them in a little Ziploc bag or something. But daily, put them all in here. And I used to have every single one of these filled up. Now I've graduated to not having one totally filled up. Well, they aren't totally filled up. I mean, they each have like one set in there or whatever, but it used to be 3-4 sets in each one of these. And I've slowed down in the morning. That's what
is in one time.
Well,
7 of them.
Well, this is the thing. I used to take more, and those were morning, afternoon. Then over the course of the year of me taking all those, I kind of noticed that I need all of those, and they were mostly for hormones. After I got off that hormone pellet deal, I had to find something else. So I have to carry this around, but you see that I haven't even taken because I got up so late. So, I mean, these can be taken whenever. I just like to take them in the morning because I feel like, and this could be just me feeling this way. No doctor has really told me either way. But I feel like when you take it in the morning, like you have time for them to get through the body, and whatever during the day gets out of the body, is secreted, whatever, out of the body, then
If you take them at night.
And it's taking at night. I don't know. I feel like I'm not moving around as much. I feel like they they wouldn't really do it all, because I've got, what I have in here is D3, a hormone, which is 2. D3 is 1, really small. The hormone is 2, and that covers the hot flashes, the metabolism, the sleeping at night type thing. Then I take a normal daily vitamin, 1. Then I have, what is this one? Oh, NMN. And then I have CoQ10, because I take cholesterol. This balances out with the joints and all that. So I take CoQ10, and they actually said that CoQ10 is good to take, just period, because it helps with joint pain and muscle. And then this one is omega-3. I used to do the fish oil, but backed off of that last month because these things are huge, and I'm tired of taking all that. I mean, I literally have to like put them in my mouth and say, "Okay, Rhonda, you only have 1 more set. Just swallow it." And then my sister-in-law taught me a trick with swallowing. This is funny. Okay, so normally when you put pills in your mouth, right, you just put them in there and then you hold your head back and you're like, well, yeah, that works with like the hard medications and supplements you take. But with the soft gel ones, you put them in your mouth and you hold your head down. Like put the water in your mouth, hold your head down and swallow, and it goes down like. When you do it like this, they float to the top of the roof of your mouth. So when you're trying to take it down, the water goes down. So I learned that little trick. How old? Last year? What's that? 53? And my daddy's a doctor? Really?
Next on Catching Up is our guest. Regina Hall, PharmD, Texas licensed clinical pharmacist, 20 plus years in managed care, prior authorizations, clinical decision-making, a dedicated mother to her daughter, balancing the demands of healthcare with the realities of raising a teenager. She brings a unique perspective that blends clinical expertise, leadership, real-life insight in today's healthcare wellness conversations.
All right, welcome, Dr. Hall. So glad you are able to join us with your expertise and experience in your field. I'm excited to get into these questions so our listeners can hear some great advice and recommendations from you when it comes to women's health. So let's just kind of jump right in it. Let me ask you, Dr. Hall, what supplements do you suggest we take in, say, early adult, maybe perimenopause, and the menopausal stages? I'm assuming that there's probably a difference between those 3 stages in a woman's life.
For sure. First, before we start anything, I'd like to kind of level set on supplements and, what supplements are and, kind of clear up some misconceptions
Absolutely.
before we get started. And so the first thing I want to do is all supplements are not created equal. So unlike prescription medications, supplements don't undergo the same FDA process for approval that they go through before they're sold. So that means that you need to be informed and look for certain things when you're actually purchasing supplements. So the first thing you need to look for is to choose products that have had some type of third party testing. So you'll see a seal or you'll see something on there that says USP or NSF. I don't know if you ladies have seen that on your supplements.
I don't think I've ever noticed that. You, Tanya?
No. No.
Look
I'm
for
taking
that.
notes. I'm taking notes, Dr. Hall.
So that means that these groups of people have helped verify that those products contain the ingredients that are listed on the label, and that's important, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Most definitely.
And then also make sure that you're choosing reputable manufacturers. Like, I love the dollar store. I'm not trying to down dollar store, but you need to, if you're buying your supplements from there, make sure that the companies follow GMP, good manufacturing practices.
And
And
what is
you'll
that called again? GMP?
GMP, good manufacturing practices.
Okay.
Okay. And then also make sure you read that ingredient list. Look for clear labeling, appropriate dosing, and make sure there is minimum fillers and additives and dyes and unnecessary things like that.
This is some good information I didn't even think
Oh,
about.
yes, it is. School is in session.
Yes, it
Yes, yes.
is.
So, with all of those recommendations that you just gave, can you also tell us what supplements would be great for, let's start with adulthood, and then take us to perimenopause and then menopause. So, what should we be taking?
Well, again, before we kind of jump into that, I hate to kind of because this is a lead in. So,
Mm-hmm.
before you decide on what supplements that you need to take, you have to identify what problems you're trying to solve. So I know that back in the day they were promoting these big vitamin packets. It was a packet of 10 vitamins and you take them all. Well, you may
I
not need
remember that.
10. Yeah, you may not need all of those packets. So vitamins and supplements are not a one size fit all.
Okay.
So in early adulthood as a woman, you need to just focus on foundations before adding multiple supplements. Make sure you're getting in adequate protein intake, sleep and stress management. You need to be exercising. Now, if you have been confirmed that you're iron deficient or you have heavy menstrual cycles, then maybe you need to take some iron. Vitamin D if your levels are low. A lot of people work from home and don't get out, the house much. The vitamin D
Mm-hmm.
levels may be low.
Yeah.
But that is confirmed by a physician. And
So then
also,
you're saying that it's really important for us to make sure that before we even start looking at vitamins and supplements in the early adult stage, we need to definitely talk with the doctor and see if it's even something we should be considering, like
correct.
vitamin D or whatever.
And then for women, at that early adulthood, if you're thinking about starting a family and things like that, certainly a over-the-counter prenatal vitamin, a daily prenatal vitamin, you should be taking, getting ready
Okay,
for.
Lord. Okay, let's stop. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Pump the brakes. I would not have even thought about that in my 20s. I mean, or even in that, college stage of early adulthood.
Well,
You
the more
think
you
about,
know. That's why that's why people are listening to this podcast. The more you know.
wow. Okay, go ahead and school me, Doc. Come on. Come on.
And then moving on to perimenopause, which is where uh, most people our age are kind of in that area. So you have those common concerns, the sleep changes, maybe some anxiety, some brain fog. So some supplements that may be helpful for that is magnesium glycinate. Have you guys heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and so that is going to promote relaxation. It increases your sleep quality and it decreases your muscle tension and, getting those leg cramps that wake you up in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll
Mm-hmm.
help with that. And then, of course, those omega-3 fatty acids, right? Those omega-3s.
Yes.
That fish oil helps with promoting heart health, brain health, and it also helps with inflammation. And then your vitamin D, which we already talked about, that with early adulthood. Calcium. If you are not taking enough calcium, if your intake, like if you're not, eating cheese or dairy free or
Let,
any
let me
type.
let me ask you this though. When it comes to the calcium and all of that, now is this something we just need to be running to the GNC or running to HEB area of vitamins and picking up calcium? Or is this something that you're telling us after we've spoken with the doctor and had blood work and all that kind of stuff done, then
Yes,
consider all
yes.
this? Or
And look,
okay,
and I need to keep repeating this over and over throughout the
yeah,
talk is that please, just because it is a supplement and it's a vitamin does not mean that it is safe for you to take. There's so many things that need to go into consideration before taking any of these. And so please do not start any type of vitamin regimen before speaking with your physician.
absolutely. I totally agree with that.
And then
Right.
moving on to menopause, again, it's going to be kind of the same thing with perimenopause, that we're going to focus on that bone health with the vitamin D, the cardiovascular health with the fish oil, and then, your muscle preservation with getting around moving.
Hmm.
Um, and we also have to remember that supplements are exactly what they say they are. They're supplements to a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle.
That's a good
And
point right
so
there.
it's not to replace anything, it's to supplement.
So let me ask you this. What about collagen? That is so huge when we hit a certain age, especially in that menopausal stage. It's really big these days on all these celebrities and things like that, showing you this collagen, that collagen to take, and this and that. And that is a type of supplement, correct?
Yeah, but I think you have to be careful, and that's another thing that you have to be careful when you're looking at these things with these celebrity endorsements without any scientific evidence. Make sure you're doing your due diligence and researching and speaking to your healthcare provider before starting anything.
Hey, this all sounds good to me. We got some more questions for you though. You ready for them?
I'm ready.
I think our audience might be ready for these too. I love how you answered that first one. That was very thorough. Thank you for that, doctor. Second question. Let's see. Let's see. Do you have any recommendations of when? Now, you just told us about the importance of talking to the doctor and making sure that the supplements we get are appropriate for our individual bodies. It's not a one shop stop like in the past where they're trying to sell us the package you were telling us about. So when we have gotten all of our supplements together and we know exactly what we need to be taking, the doctor has okayed it, right? When would
Right.
you recommend, like, is there a time of day for certain types of supplements, like maybe the powder ones or the liquid ones or the gels or the D3? Is there a certain time of day that's best to take certain vitamins?
Okay, so let's start with since you brought up the vitamin D. Though vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, so the fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. And so those are best taken with meals containing fat because they're
Okay.
fat soluble. So anything with avocados, salmon, eggs, nut butters, you will want to take those fat soluble vitamins with those types of meals. Now the magnesium glycinate, remember we talked about is promoting relaxation and things like that. So guess when you should take that? You wouldn't want to take that in the morning, would you?
Well, you're right.
Right.
You're right.
At night.
I might not make it through the morning.
Exactly. So you normally take those in the evenings or before bed. And then iron, make sure that you're taking iron with food, but stay away from calcium, coffees and teas, but with food. I mean, I took iron one day on an empty stomach and it was not cute. So make sure you're taking your iron with food.
Wonderful pointers, and I hope our audience is definitely able to that clicks with our audience. Okay, so when we talk about taking supplements, but also some of us also have prescription meds. Is it best to separate those times in which you take your prescription medicine versus your supplements, or can you take it all together?
No. I mean, the answer is
That was a
because
big no.
Right.
because it just depends. Because supplements can absolutely, we talked about, just because they're natural doesn't mean they're automatically safe. And I'm putting that in quotes. Can absolutely interact with your prescription medications.
Oh, wow.
They can cause major drug interactions. They can interfere with medication absorption. Um, some can increase bleeding risk. There is a number of things that can happen. So it's always, and I'm going to say it again, inform your provider about all the supplements that is being used, so that you can together come up with a healthy and safe regimen. Important for you to use one pharmacy when possible, when
Right.
you're for your prescription meds and then your supplements, because then that pharmacist will have your complete list of everything that you're taking, including, when you're going there and you're buying your supplements and all of that. They can talk you through those drug interactions if there is any.
See, now that's something that had to come straight from a pharmacist right there because
Right.
I didn't have that information. I didn't know that information.
Right.
You, Tanya?
No, I didn't. I didn't. Um, I think because sometimes too we kind of shy away from the conversation of having this dual conversation because we only got 15 hot minutes, Dr. Hall, and everybody's not as thorough as you are. With actually, I'm serious. With actually explaining, like this is the reason why we're having this two-way conversation. Because I would love, maybe the next conversation is with a doctor. Because, like, what exactly do you need to say? Is this something you need to turn in before? And the physician assistant helps you out. Like, what happens? Because, sometimes we serious about that 15 minutes. Because that's all they've carved out for you. And I find sometimes when you're going in to do preventative pieces or kind of med management, that's a real quick conversation. And so thank you today, because it's kind of helping me formulate like, hey, listen, I'm gonna have to press some buttons when it comes to
Sure.
having a holistic conversation about my health and my supplements. Currently I'm not on any medication, but but it's how important it is to make sure that we're having a real conversation around it.
That's right. That's right. And we have to make sure that, speaking on the 15 minutes, is that we also have to make sure that we're advocating for ourselves and making sure that we're slowing them down.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for giving an example. Let's do this. Can we do the example of if somebody is taking cholesterol, if they have a cholesterol prescription, and they take supplements too? Like, can you, if off the top of your head, can you think of anything that would kind of directly negatively affect that conversation? That's something good to know too, because see, now we because sometimes we talk about
There are different types of cholesterol medication, and I don't know which cholesterol medication you're speaking of, but if
mhm.
you're talking about like a statin, there are certain there are certain supplements like red yeast rice that some people take, um, that will interfere with those statin effects.
Supplements, right? And that's leaning more towards the vitamin conversation, right? And I don't even want to open up this can of worms, but then we have our people who are into holistic medicine and are also taking herbs, so what I'm saying, like those conversations. So also too, when we talk about that, so how do you fuse, like what's the perfect balance between all of this? Because you might not have a doctor who necessarily subscribes to you know, holistic medicine. They're more on a synthetic, or actually, yes, they co-sign on to vitamins. But how do you have like just this one conversation to kind of meet your needs when it comes to your health?
Yeah. So the whole holistic versus conventional approaches to health is, that's a daily battle in the healthcare space. I think the takeaway from that is that they both have both their strengths and their limitations. And so the best approach to anything is something that is, well thought out, that it's evidence based and it's individualized. So something that works for me may not work for you, and something that works
Mhm.
for you may not work for Rhonda. And so it's just, as long as you have um, that balance and it's evidence based, I think that's the goal for any approach to health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say the balance is evidence based, it might be easier, and this is just my opinion. So let me know because I'm learning right now. I am in school. School is in session. Um, Wouldn't it be easier to do evidence based with the conventional approach compared to the holistic approach? Because it seems to me that the conventional approach, right? That's the big pharma. You're going to have all kind of data and analytical stuff out there, like at your fingertips. You could just be like Siri, tell me whatever. Alexa, fill me in on this medication and the data on that. But with the holistic approach, because um, the holistic approach in my mind, and from what I've seen of people that I know that go that route, it seems like there's so many different beliefs in the
Mhm.
holistic approach. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of times in those holistic spaces that they kind of overpromise results, right? And so that's why you have to just make sure, because
Mhm.
that there's a balance between, and I have so many stories that are endless about people who chose a holistic approach to cancer care and it just didn't work out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if they would have went the conventional route, it could have maybe easily been, you know um
But then we
but
might also be kind of teeter-tottering on religion and
for sure.
your own personal spiritual belief, which sometimes that can tend to lean more on, hey, I'm just going straight from my spiritual religious belief and I'm not doing conventional. I'm doing this,
Yeah,
period.
yeah,
That's why I was saying it's probably harder to try and find evidence, to balance that out.
yeah,
um, it's
for
almost
sure.
like, is it trial and error or is it, well, you don't want the error, that's for sure. But,
Well,
I don't know.
the thing about it is that I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. So with conventional approach, with traditional medicine, that they have to go through a FDA process, a rigorous process um, to be able to get on the market, correct? And so in that FDA process, they have to go through clinical trials, and that's where all of that
Okay.
most of that evidence up front comes from. And so with the holistic approach, you don't necessarily have that.
Right.
But it's not to negate those, holistic medicine. That's why I said, to me,
Right.
in my opinion, and this is just Regina Hall speaking, is that a balance is the best approach. Because
Okay.
again, we talked about the magnesium. I mean, I use the magnesium and it does wonders for me.
Okay.
Um,
But somebody else might go the route of herbal tea, maybe, or some other herb-based.
Well, the magnesium, that's a supplement, and so
Mm-hmm.
somebody may say, you know what, you're using magnesium for relaxation, and I may need a prescription medication to help me relax and sleep.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Right. Right. It's potato. It really, like you said, it really is individualized
It's
because Tanya
individualized.
might do something differently. I might do something differently.
Hmm.
Dr. Hall might do something totally differently as well, right? Okay. I understand that. Thank you for that. Going in depth in that because I'm sure there's some listeners who um are kind of trying to figure that out. Especially again, and the reason why I keep going back to the social media is because it is so huge these days. And a lot of people use social media as a way to get evidence,
Yes, for
and things
sure.
like that.
Yeah.
So, that's why I kind of keep kind of going back to that aspect of, and I'm glad that you talked in depth about it. So, just to lead into our last question I'd like to ask you, because you were such an expert and you have answered our questions so thoroughly, and even I have even more questions about some of this that I might have to drop into the comments or maybe email you via our email or something. Um, but is there anything else you would like to inform us about when it comes to women and their health that maybe we haven't covered?
So just a couple of things I'd like to, just highlight is, we have to, as women, we have to speak up and we have to advocate for ourselves. Um, if something is not right, guys, speak up and ask questions. I don't care if they're walking out the door. Hey, I got another question for you.
Yeah, stop them in their tracks, right?
Correct. Another, and also it's okay to seek second opinions. You don't have to take the first opinion. Like you can seek second opinions if you feel like something is not right. And also, the last one I want to leave you with is just focus on, long-term quality of life, not just living long, but focus on living a good life, not just living long. And so that's it for me.
I really like how you ended with, your focal point, right, Tanya?
Yes, most definitely.
Of just
Um,
living life, and
right.
making sure that you advocate for yourself big time.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I think, you know, you know, sometimes as women, I used to do this session, which you will not end when it's all over said and done. You will not have an S on your chest.
Right.
And so because we put ourselves on the back burner,
That's right.
and you don't get an S. You might get, she was a good person and she was
Right.
great mom, great wife, great daughter. But the S will not appear. So I am most gracious for the conversation today around our cabinets. They are full, but hopefully this will help us go through our cabinets
Yeah.
and make sure that we have
It's not
um
overflowing with vitamins
right
that we don't
and
need.
make
That
right
you don't
and
need. Right.
right. And making sure that we have the right conversation about, like, I'm not just taking this because it's the fad, or
That's
I'm
right.
not, because I was ready to sign up for, that popular vitamin that's out. I'm not doing any plug for anybody's, but people have raved about it, right? But, now I got to think, hey, listen, they might be raving about it and it might work for them. But however, will it work for me?
Or is it
Um,
something that is necessary? Is it something that you need?
right.
And
That's
so,
correct.
yeah, so if you got to think about what are you trying to resolve, and is this going to resolve it for you?
Right.
I totally agree. Thank you so much, Dr. Hall, for taking time out to chat with us and conversate with us and keep it real like you did, um, as well as just enlightening our listeners and me and Tanya. Were you enlightened, Tanya?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I was like, I couldn't find my notebook fast enough. I was like, listen, I got to take notes. I wasn't expecting this, but I definitely
Definitely appreciate it. You know, it's always a time when you in Dr. Hall's presence. And so thank you tremendously for the information that you have imparted today. We truly appreciate it. I think one thing, for any listener that may have connected, with, the conversation today, how can they get in contact? Where will you be next? How can we get some more valuable information from you, Dr. Hall?
Well, maybe y'all will have me on again.
Okay, hey, I'll take that. That sounds good to me.
And we will. Come on.
But I appreciate it. It was nice to connect with you ladies. I miss y'all so much, and thank you for allowing me to be on the introductory.
Yes, the introductory, episode 1. The
Episode
vitamin
1.
cabinet is overflowing and out of control.
Right.
It's a wrap, y'all.
Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share so you don't miss our next episode.
Stay caught up until the next time on
Catching Up with Tanya
and Rhonda.